So it's all for play for still.
I think so. Do you want to bet against us?
Hello, Aston Villa fans. None of Connor did because Bannock did a fail agree. I think that's how you say it in Irish. In fact, I don't.
Are you on the sauce already?
No, I'm not. I am not. Contrary to popular belief, I'm not on the sauce already. I had a child who just decided to throw a wobbler before I was coming out the door, so needs must. But I'm delighted to be here. Team Sheet Tantrum. Seems like it's been forever. Well, it really has been forever since we've done one for the Premier League. And I'm really looking forward to this one. Obviously, we know there's going to be one change, unless there isn't, Paddy. Are we still holding out hope that it's going to be a surprise? Gotcha. Emmy Martinez starts in goal. Obviously, whoa. Before the comments start rolling in, I'm joking. Okay? I'm joking about the Emmy Martinez starting in goals. I know he's not going to be starting in goals.
Well, there could be a surprise in goals because we've been told that Olsen had a knock, so we could see Jed Steer in goal. So maybe that was just done to take the pressure off him. I don't know, but as some people have said in the comments already, he's the one I'm worried about the most today.
Yeah, if Jed Steer starts in goals today, we will give away an Emmy Martinez jersey on the podcast. Why not? That's why not. If so get your comment into the comment section there, guys. Everybody comment in. All you have to do is put in any comment into the comment section. If Jed Steer starts goals today, we'll give away an Emmy Martinez jersey. Or a Jed Steer jersey. Why not a Jed Steer jersey? A goalkeeper's jersey, whichever goalkeeper's name you want in the back of the jersey. How's about that? That's what we'll do. Paddy, I'm going to let you fill for a moment. There's I don't know if you guys can hear it there, but there's a tumble dryer inside my office and it seems to go off randomly every so often. So I need to tend to that.
Well, Sweet Karma asked the question, has Olsen truly earned his seemingly unreliable reputation? Yeah, I think so. For me, anyway. I'm just shaken about that one, to be honest. I really worried. He just looks like a guy devoid of any confidence, but he has been voted for the 7th year in a row as Sweden's number 1 goalkeeper, and he will get Swedish Goalkeeper of the Year tomorrow, I think, in the awards, along with Kulusevski gets the Player of the Year, who we'll see next Sunday. So, look, he's the best goalkeeper in Sweden. I don't know what that tells you about the quality of Swedish football or goalkeepers, but if he's our man, we have to back him and get behind him, and hopefully he'll have a confident game for the 4. I've yet to see him have a confident game. I'm being totally honest. So maybe today is his day.
I mean, you can keep talking.
There's no excuse for that, Neil. Come on, very unprofessional.
I'm not. I'm just giddy. I'm giddy because football's back. And if anybody thinks that, like, it's Christmas and I love Christmas so much more than any other time of the year, so anything goes in my world. But yeah, look, as I was going to say there, if any of you guys have ever seen an underdog film, an underdog story, and the guy who gets put in goals or the guy who gets put onto the field, regardless of the sport, turns out to be the hero, we can only hope that we have our Hollywood moment from Robin Olsen today. But at the end of the day, he's been a professional goalkeeper who's been through the clubs throughout the course of his year and played in some good leagues. So he clearly has shot-stopping talent. He's never looked really confident in. I'm going to go so far as to say he's never looked really confident in English football, even not even for Villa. So look, we'll see what happens with him today. It's not going to be an easy trek for him. He may very well concede 2, 3, 4 goals today, and none of them might be his fault.
And look, it's unfair, probably what I've said, but like you have to take into consideration that the step up to this level from the training ground is huge. I watched Fraser Forster today, who's a goalkeeper who I admired for many, many years, and he stepped in for Spurs today, and he was all over the shop. He didn't know whether to come and catch, come and punch, what to do. Clear fellas out, didn't know what to do today. So It is what it is. But all we can do is get behind him like we do every week, and hopefully he doesn't have that mistake in him, because we on a day like today we will be punished for any mistake.
Now, one other thing I will say, you look at likes of Fraser Forster, who probably didn't, like, yes, today he stepped in or whatever, but Robin Olsen has had more game time, I would imagine,
He has,
since the start of this season with this back four and with this team itself. So a lot of the games that you would imagine over the course of the mini break would have been trying to solidify that in the event that we would need it. Equally, we could have seen Emmy Martinez come in here and being all over the shop in a game after, not after, number one, being under the influence for the last 6 days of drinking his brains out, which he's well entitled to do. And secondly, as well, obviously coming from different tactical setup and so on. So, look, the strange thing about football is that you can have, Woking can go out and beat a team in the third round of the FA Cup, beat a Premier League team in the FA Cup, and you've got giant killings. And you've got those giant killings because people play above themselves in certain situations. And Mr. Olsen knows he, come what may, the second Emmy Martinez steps back in BHX, that he is not going to be the starting goalkeeper again. So he might as well go out today and play the best game of his season, because he doesn't know when the next one is going to come. And look, I'll be honest as well.
Look, the world and its mother. The world and its mother wants Emmy Martinez out of Aston Villa. Every journalist in fucking Europe wants him gone. So if that's the case, Mr. Olsen, that jersey's there for yours it's yours to command if you play well today. So I'm joking, obviously, that we've read. Well, I've actually stopped reading the bullshit at this stage, but I'm looking forward to getting Emmy back. I'm making no apology for that. He's the best goalkeeper at the club. He's one of the best players at the club, and we're better with him than without him.
Exactly. We've got greetings from the Sacred Heart from Caroline Collins. Caroline and Noel are over there, going to be roaring their brains out in the coming hour or so when Villa take to the stadium.
Caroline was our spy behind the scenes today. She was in the Liverpool hotel.
Yes.
I'm wondering, did she manage to poison anybody while she was there?
No, never mind that. I'm wondering, did she pull the alarm last night? Although they probably wouldn't have been in the hotel last night. No, but any chance you went in and maybe slip the chef a $5 or a $10 or something like that to spit in the chowder or anything? No, that would have been nice. Do what Arsene Wenger did to the Spurs, to the Spurs team all those years ago when they all came down with food poisoning the day before. They could have solidified fourth place and stopped Arsenal from getting in the Champions League. The team is out indeed, and we all know what that means. It's going to be the first team alert of the year. Block your ears if you're of a strange disposition. There it is. It's back. The team alert. Because we do have a team. The team is out. I am just bringing it up here on Twitter so that I can share it, my friends. So we have a team. And we see Ashley Young is there. We've got Robin Olsen in goals. Ashley Young, Konza, Mings, and Dina. McGinn, Kamara, Douglas Luiz, Buendia, Watkins, and Bailey. So no Matty Cash today is big news. John McGinn coming in there and keeping the captain's armband. I always thought that would be the case. No Jacob Ramsey. And looking on the bench, there is no Jacob Ramsey either. On the bench is as follows: Philip Marshall, Cash, Ings, Chambers, Bednarek. Coutinho makes his long-awaited return. Then Donker, Archer, and the 16-year-old sensation Caden Young is on the bench as well. So no Jacob Ramsey. Somebody can enlighten me as to this, but the club have not been very forthcoming as with regards what the situation is with Jacob Ramsey. I presume that's going to be one of the first questions on reporters' lips in the pre or post-match commentary.
We alluded to this the other day. Why haven't the reporters asked this question in any of the conferences?
Yeah.
No, they had him on Friday to ask the question, see where he's at, and then they never came back. Now we know we were told it was a muscle injury apparently by one of the reporters, but we need a bit of clarity here because
guys are saying here it's a hamstring injury. So a couple of guys are saying here a hamstring injury for Jacob Ramsey. I must have missed that, but Hammer. Everyone is saying out for 3 games. Ger says here he's be out for 3 games with a hamstring injury. So that's that.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's it. I like this is the team we almost expected to play anyway, because we were saying that Jacob Ramsey hasn't featured in this mini off season that we've had that much. Buendia has been the man that's come in and replaced him, and we thought that Buendia would start on that wide right, wide left probably actually situation for Aston Villa, and that wider midfielder of the 4-2-2-2. So I think it's going to be Watkins and Bailey playing slightly off Watkins, and like he did against what game was it? Which one of the two games? Not United. Was it United? Can't remember. It's so long ago, but he has played in that role slightly off Watkins previously, in that two up top. So look, it's an interesting setup. Obviously the youthfulness that's on the bench there, and the likes of Cade Young and Archer. Cash must still be coming back up to full fitness. I would imagine he did have time off over the course.
Well, that's a surprise. He did play before Christmas in the friendly, so I'm surprised that he's not up to match fitness if that's the case. Unless he's carrying a little knock, nobody knows. But I think that's the only tantrum today that we were seeing Ashley Young instead of Cash. I think that's a surprise.
I think, oh yeah, absolutely. I think that's exactly it, because as I say, the Jacob Ramsey piece was always a question to be answered. Let me bring up the Liverpool team here as well. One thing I will say, Paddy, is that bench has a lot of experience in it that we have, albeit that we have Archer and we've got Caden Young. And I'm a big proponent of, if you are going to go to bigger benches and have 5 substitutions within a game, that you should be forced to have an X amount of quota, whether it's 1 or whether it's 2 players that have come through your academy and are under the age of 21 on your bench. So I even like Aston Villa to do that. But there is a lot of experience with the likes of Dendoncker, the likes of Bednarak, the likes of Ings, Cash, Coutinho, all on the bench. They've all played umpteen Premier League games as well. So that's a nice little piece to have, to be able to bring those guys off the bench, whether they affect the game or not. But the reason I'm saying that is that not so long ago, we were looking to the bench and we were seeing the likes of maybe a Morgan Sanson, who hadn't really sparked in the Premier League ever. We were seeing the likes of Marvelous Nakamba, who is pretty limited in what he can do to actually really affect the game. And maybe we were seeing the likes of Keenan Davis as well, who has gone down to the Championship, done some good work, but never really put it together at Premier League level. So that's something that the club, that to me shows a bit of progression that the club has had. And obviously some of those names that are on the bench won't be here after January, or may not be here in June, and we would hope to progress on from there as well. So that is an interesting one, and I just thought I would mention that too. The Liverpool team is out as well. Let me share the Liverpool team with everybody. It is Alisson in goals, Alexander-Arnold, Matip, Van Dijk, Robertson, Fabinho, Thiago, and Henderson, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Salah, and Nunes. And I hate to see Oxlade-Chamberlain in there, because man coming back after a while being out, not done much in the last 6 months, feeding balls to a striker who's under pressure up top, missed an easy chance and skewed it wide by 6 yards last day. You just know that spells absolute calamity for Aston Villa.
I'm trying to figure out who he's in for. The other striker lad, what's his name?
Carvalho.
Carvalho's on the bench, is he? I'm trying to squint here.
He's on the bench. So the subs are our own Caoimhín Kelleher, Joe Gomez, who dropped out of the team for Matip, Keita, Elliott, Tsimikas, Carvalho, Bacic, Phillips, and Doak, the young Scottish kid, gets a position. Ben Doak, who was actually just a tangential piece here. He laid on an awful lot of bullets with the Scottish underage teams for the likes of what's his name, Rory, Jesus, the guy we signed from Rangers. Rory Wilson. Yeah. So they had a really good simpatico, but Doak is quite a player. Came from Celtic, if I'm not mistaken, Paddy, didn't he? He was plucked from the Celtic Academy to come join Liverpool for pretty decent money, if I remember rightly as well. They paid quite a hefty fee for him. But anyway, less about them and more about who's on their starting 11, and that's a formidable. That's the strongest 11 I think that Liverpool could have put out. Albeit that position Oxlade-Chamberlain is interchangeable with the likes of Carvalho, Elliott, and so on there in that position.
Yeah. No, it's the best team they have available. It's strange that we're playing Liverpool and we have players missing because of the World Cup and they don't.
Yeah.
It's madness. But anyway, yeah, I don't know what's going on. I saw James Maddison sitting in the crowd today when he could have been playing. So I don't know what the protocol was of getting players back because he's back a couple of weeks. That doesn't make any sense unless he picked up a knock or something.
Maybe
But
so. And he didn't even play a minute for England.
Exactly, yeah.
If I'm mistaken. He didn't play a minute, and there was a big hoo-ha about him being an alternate and then being brought into the team and so on. And one of the most creative players in the first half of the league this season, and English player that is, and didn't even get a sniff of game time. But look, that's not our fight to have. So I asked a question here: who's the referee? Please, not Oliver. It's not. It is Paul Tierney, if I'm not mistaken. And Paddy, I'm going to leave the floor to you about this bromance or this lack of a bromance or this hatred or this kind of slinging mud that Klopp likes to have with Paul Tierney.
Yeah, they don't get on. If you remember, as we always called him out, Salah used to throw his foot across the defender coming across him and Paul Tierney waved it away. And he's never forgotten that, absolutely never forgotten. And Paul Tierney was actually 100% right in his call. So as a result, he's hated on Merseyside for that. Whether that makes any difference today, I don't know. We're in the unusual position here, Neil, because we technically have 2 free hits here, Liverpool and Spurs, that we would hope rather than expect to get something out of. But getting something out of them makes a huge difference to our position in that league table. So I would hope we go and give them a good rattle today. It's needed, blow the cobwebs off. Go if ever there was going to be a time to catch someone cold, it's today. You watch Spurs; they were very lackluster this morning.
Poor old Harry Kane. I hope he'll be all right.
Harry Kane, why? What happened to him?
I hope he'll be all right. Do you not see he got shot for the penalty?
He got shot.
Yeah, poor man. I hope he recovers.
Well, there was a few questionable ones in that one. He was wrestled to the ground at one stage and they didn't give it.
Well,
and I said it was a stonewall penalty. And then he pushed the defender in the back to head the ball in and they gave it. So God knows what's going on with these VAR officials and referees. So yeah, referees make a big difference in games like these against the big teams. So yeah, it's always a worry, but I'm glad it's Paul Tierney instead of Mr. Coote.
Yeah, let's look. And as I said, the referee, it'll be actually, you know what, today is going to be really interesting. It's going to be interesting from the point of view, and I know we didn't see it in the Carabao Cup games during the week, but it'll be interesting to see if any of the kind of idiosyncrasies that World Cup refs had during the World Cup have been adopted now, or there's been any edicts come down from Howard Webb since he's now taken over that mantle of the PMGOL or whatever it's called. He's taken over the top job there, if I'm not mistaken.
Do you still expect PGMOL to be level with the curve that's going on around the world? But light years behind as usual in making these decisions.
Let's see. Put it this way, we're not going to have 16 minutes injury time, I know that, but it'll be interesting to see if there's any of those, because it was the first round of group games in the World Cup. There were some games where referees let it go, and it was very agricultural in some situations. And I'm just saying that could suit us today if Paul Tierney comes out here and lets it go. And next thing all of a sudden you see Ashley Young booting fellas up the arse, Bishop Brennan style in the first half and getting away with it. And I'm not advocating that, because I think that this Aston Villa team is good enough to be able to get the ball on the ground and to try and play through the middle. I've always felt that. I've always thought that. And I think when you've got players like Bailey, Buendia, Douglas Luiz, and even to the newly acquired Kamara, I think we should be able to do that, put our foot on the game and be able to influence the game ourselves without having to get agricultural. We don't need Phil Bardsley in this team. But what I'm saying is it would still be nice to get 3 points, and it'd be interesting to see what way the referees do go, if they sit in their hands with regards to cards or frees, or if they just adopt the same kind of game flow patterns that they would have had at the start of the season. So it's just going to be interesting. I think it is. Paddy, question for you. What is... Yes, actually, Connor, I'm gonna indulge myself for this in a moment. 234 people watching and 30 likes. For Christmas, can you give us a present of just hitting the thumbs up button? It would be really, really nice. It would just send this it would do us a big favor. That's really what it would do, is send us around and get more people to be able to see our content. And that would be nice to have more people here to join us. But Paddy, question for you. So what have Villa got to do today to win this game? And don't say not concede.
Well, they've got to score one more than the opposition, obviously.
I should have put that caveat in there as well.
I'm a little bit worried about Ashley Young in that position, because there's oodles of pace on either side there, with Salah or Oxlade-Chamberlain, who has always had a decent game against us in the past. I think if we can contain him, keep him quiet, and look for them to change up things in the second half, I think we'll be thereabouts. But the most important two people on the pitch today for me are Douglas Luiz and Boubacar Kamara. If they can command that midfield, if they can find the out ball, chances will come. Hopefully Ollie Watkins brings his shooting boots today. And the important thing is that we don't concede early. We're very, very vital to this. If we concede early, we could be looking at a thumping, and that's what worries me.
For me, the player I'm most interested in, and I will continue to be most interested in this game today, is going to be Emi Buendia. All the talent in the world, all the sparkle in his boots to get things going. Was in the Argentinian squad, wasn't in it then, obviously, the World Cup game. He's probably sitting at home hitting himself in the forehead going, if only I'd taken my chances. And I know chances have been limited. A lot of them weren't his own fault. Steven Gerrard was averse to playing him, and Coutinho in the same team. But, this guy is sitting at home thinking, if things were different, if the last 6 months were different, if the last 12 months were different for me, I could be sitting there with a World Cup medal around my neck, as opposed to the other Emi, along with the other Emi within our team. So Emi Buendia has a lot to, he still has a lot to prove for his price tag, and we've seen him play for Norwich brilliantly in games like this against the likes of Liverpool and up his game. I'm really looking forward to him today. I'm really looking forward to him having a good game. I'm not for me, it's not a whole put pressure on him kind of game for me. I want him to have a good game today, just like I want Ollie Watkins to have a good game today as well.
Exactly.
And
Marine Boy asked the questions, has Watkins got any shooting boots? He did when we beat Liverpool 7-2.
Yeah.
So he can do it. Absolutely, he can do it. Just needs to find that form. And hopefully today is the day. I really, really hope so.
Yeah, so do I. I really hope so too. I love. We've talked about this previously on our pre-Christmas ramblings, but like St. Stephen's Day, Boxing Day, is just such a great day. You've got all the horse racing, you've got the football, then you've got like rugby. There's usually inter-pro games here in Ireland, on Munster, Leinster are on later on. But for me, as I say, I woke up this morning and the first thing I did is I was curiously sitting on the edge of my bed, stroking my beard, thinking into the future about what the day would hold. It was Emi Buendia that came to my mind, going, if he starts, I want him to go out there and have the best game possible, score a goal, lay on a goal, and be the catalyst for us, because you can see he works so hard. You can see the players like him. You can see his frustration when things don't go right. And I'm not going to start talking out of both sides of my mouth when I start talking about players who show their frustration on the field. I spoke about the likes of Morgan Sanson, who did it, and I felt that he never there was a way and a means of doing it, and his was always kind of in a deflated way. You always see it with Emi Buendia, that it's in a way that he wants to do better, and he'll hair back and he might win the ball or he might do something. And I just want him to have a very, very good game today. I really do. And also, the other player that I want to have a good game today is John McGinn. We've seen green shoots of recovery from John McGinn. We've seen the John McGinn in the Unai Emery setup has been much, much better. Much better. Yes, I have called out his passing, but look, maybe he'll never be able to pass the ball beautifully or brilliantly. But his high press has been absolutely brilliant. And against Brighton and against Manchester, against Brighton anyway, he was very very effective. So I want him to build on that. I want him to have another good game. I want him to score a goal like he did against Chelsea, I think it was in the mini season, the mini off season that we had there. I want to see him getting into the box on the edge or something, making himself available to slot the ball in the back of the net, because we've all been crying out for him to do the John McGinn of Scotland for Aston Villa, and he'll never get a better chance to do that, albeit from a wider position. So the two wider players, I think, are going to have to work their absolute nuts off today, because they're going to have to be those little buffers with the two fullbacks that Liverpool like to raid up and down those sidelines. But they're also going to need to pop up in the back post and be integral to those little passes, those triangles in around the box as well that Emery likes to play. So it's going to be interesting, and I hope Emery ball is on full view today, and we can see some of those good moves that we saw in the previous two competitive Premier League games as well.
100% agree with all that sentiment, especially the fact that defensively, John McGinn and Buendia are going to be important too. It's not a plus point in Buendia's game, but hopefully we get it right today because it is important.
Tuan, good to see you. Good to see you. We haven't been on in a while either, Tuan. Well, we did. We had a flurry there just before the Christmas period. But good to see you, Tuan, all the way from Jamaica. And of course, you're looking for an early Bailey goal, shooting in front of the whole tent. Of course, you are supporting your countrymen, and why not? And I think we're all hoping for Bailey to carry his good form into this part of the season as well, guys. We're going to do it. I want you to put in your scores, littered our comments with your scores there, and we'll do our little roundup. Give you a couple of moments there to do so. Another part of the field I want to talk about, there's only one real part that is left to talk about, I think, after all that, Paddy, is the shaky partnership in centre half. It was shaky, then it wasn't so shaky, and then over this little mini off season, we've seen it become shaky again. But it wasn't due to the fact that it was Konsa and Mings. It was mostly when people were drafted in alongside Mings, we looked at a far less convincing beast. Any worries with regards to Konsa and Mings today?
No, I think they're the two best that we have available. I have absolutely no problem with them. Are they the best we could have in that position? Maybe not, but we don't have Diego Carlos, and that would be the only change I would make for Konsa. So it is what it is. I have faith in the two boys. They've been around a long time. They're a mainstay in our squad, so I support them absolutely. They've both had their bad periods, as has every player, in fairness. So, no, not particularly worried about there. Just got to get someone probably man marking from set pieces on Nunez. I know most of them end up in the stand, but this is Aston Villa. This will probably end up in the top corner. So they need to be getting tight on him because he has the potential to do the damage.
Yeah, I think so too. That's the player I'm most worried about for Liverpool today is Darwin Núñez. And look, history dictates that if you're down and you look, who do you want to play? That's like, and that's not being defeatist in any way, shape, or form. But usually, players who haven't scored in a while will break their duck against Aston Villa, and that's been a historical thing, and it's not been a recent thing at all. It's time immemorial, really, you know. And I've said that before, so. It's something I think that we all need to keep an eye on as well. Generic Villa fan, thank you so much for that. He says, "Aren't you petrified about Olsen?" Oh, absolutely, we are. We spent a good part of the start of the podcast, talking about Olsen. I suppose I'm more on the side that you know, every dog has its day, and in the goalkeeping position, I think we can affect how much he has to do by keeping it tighter up the field. You know, you can't affect it. Obviously, you're not going to stop all shots coming in, and players can shoot from 40 yards and score. But we can try and make this easy on him. I don't want to see Ezri Konsa leaving balls in behind him and then trying to shepherd centre forwards for Olsen to come out like he did against Chelsea. That got Broja in a bit of spot of difficulty. I want to see Olsen do the simple things right. I want to see him just to stop the ball. Don't want to see an awful lot of the ball at his feet. Whether we will see that or not is up to, I suppose, what Emery thinks the goalkeeper is able to do. But I suppose we're at home. Why not go out there, try and control the ball for the first 10 minutes, nothing silly, and then grow our way into the game and make sure that Robin Olsen doesn't have to have a flurry of saves in the first 5-6 minutes. Keep corners away as well. That would be nice too. Kane Kessler Hayden scored, did he? Excellent.
And what looks like it's going to be the winner for Huddersfield against
brilliant
against a team they don't like too much in Preston. So he could be a new hero up there, and it could be the start of something good for him. So fingers crossed.
Well, hopefully so. Okay, so guys, we have our little roundup here for the scores. We're going to start off with C-Line. Says it's going to be 2-2. Junior Bennett says 2-1. J_XSHE says 2-1. 2-1. Credo says 7-2. Lol. Mike Warmball, the shaky 1-1. That would be my thoughts as well. I think a 1-1 is what I went for in this one. British Mix says 3-2. Owen Bradley says 2-2. Top G's says 7-1 to Villa. Brendan Townsend says 2-1 Villa win. Bailey to score first. Marine Boy says 1-1. I'll take it. Tig 5. I'm not sure what that is. Jared Kerwin says 2-1 Villa. Jordy Villan says 2-1 at halftime, 3-1 at full time. Ollie and Mings to score the first two and a sub for the third. Caden Young, maybe. Tawan says 3-1. Emery Ting Villa says an optimistic 2-1 win, but I take a draw. Mighty Villain says 3-1. Aston the Villa fan says 5-1. Kieran O'Callaghan says Villa 1, Liverpool 4. Neil Up the Villa says, sorry, but can't see Olsen saving much today. Well, hopefully he doesn't have to make many saves. That would be nice. Jared Levy says 2-1 to Villa. Nigel Franklin says 2-2. Rob Henry says happy with a 1-1 Bundia to score. TJ Redmond says 1-0. Have we any more that have come in? Generic Villa fan says 2-2. Gigs Sharna says 2-2. Mick Ducati says 2-1. Lee Johnson says 3-2. JJ says 7-0. Jam Jack says 3-1. And that is the scores that we have so far. So, guys, thanks so much to everybody for listening. We got up to nearly 300 people there at one stage, which is absolutely bonkers. So thank you so much for that. We will be back with a post-match review afterwards, right on the final whistle. I've said, what time did I say? 7:25. But if the final whistle blows a bit earlier than that, we'll be back a bit earlier than that as well. So keep an eye out for us for later on. Rex Colt in with a 5-2 to Villa. I love it, Rex. I love it. Absolutely love it. So, guys, thanks so much, everybody. If you haven't given this a thumbs up, I'd really appreciate it if you do. If you're not a subscriber to the channel already, I'd really appreciate it if you could subscribe as well. It just really does us a massive favor, and it costs you nothing to do so. Aston Villa versus Liverpool. We've all been waiting for it. It's been 5.5 weeks of wait for it. It happens now. It happens in the next 36 minutes. And I want you all to get settled in front of your TV or in your seat if you're at the stadium, out of the Sacred Heart, Caroline, because you're going to be late otherwise. And watch this and roar Aston Villa onto what we hope will be a momentous victory against Liverpool today. So thanks so much, everybody, for watching. Paddy, have you any words of wisdom for everybody before we go?
No. Enjoy the evening. 1-1 draw for me. Up the Villa.
1 draw, exactly. And with that, I'm going to go 1-1 draw as well because I'm nice and boring. But thanks so much, everybody, for watching. Have a fantastic day. Stay safe, stay healthy. And all that's left to say is up the Villa.